This is the third training class relating to the soul's light body. Hi, I'm Tim Doyle. I'm a student of the Golden Ones. The Golden Ones are co-creator gods who are the administrators of Earth's spiritual training school. We want to talk about the light body because the light body determines what a soul will manifest in his journey to becoming a co-creator god. Your light body has filaments on it, and the filaments, being a radiating light body with filaments, there's globs on the light body, and these globs prevent the soul's light body from radiating, from vibrating. Instead of a ping, it'd be a plunk sound. So we want to talk about how these globs get onto the soul's light body and how to remove them. First of all, let's see, we're going to talk about the conscious mind is a recording system. We'll talk about the conscious mind maybe in our next training class. The conscious mind is an audio recording system. Everything the conscious mind sees and experiences in the moment is recorded into the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind accepts everything that the conscious mind passes to it because it's the responsibility of the conscious mind to validate what they're seeing is the truth. All right, saying that for the time being, we'll explain that a little bit later. So all memories are stored in the subconscious mind, and all believed truths are stored in the subconscious mind. We say believed truths because sometimes the soul believes something that's really not a truth. For an example, quick example, is in the 18th century, the Catholic Church taught that the earth was flat. And if you didn't believe the earth was flat, then you would be, you'd get a mortal sin and you can't go to heaven and you go to hell and you burn forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. All right, not true. So a soul will believe something that's not a truth. So we tell each soul that just don't believe something that is told to you. Now, on these training classes, I've been working with the Golden Ones for over 30-something years, all right? Specifically with the Golden Ones. Anything they have channeled through me, I had to live it to know that it was the truth. So I'm not here to tell you conceptions or what I think. No, these are truths, all right? And I have lived them, I have experienced them, and they have taught me their teachings. Their teachings for the Golden Ones have not been on this planet since the sinking of Atlantis, which was over 11,000 years ago. There's a lot of books out there that pretend to know the truth, which is not true. We'll leave it at that. We won't name any specific books or anything, but we'll tell you that just don't believe everything you're taught because it may not be the truth. All right? Verify all your information. Also, your subconscious mind is the gateway to your light body. Your light body stores wisdom. That's one of the things it stores, wisdoms and truths, along with false truths and things called fears, unhealthy feelings, abusive memories. These are these globs that are around your light body. There is a prayer on the homepage of the website. It's called the Prayer to Remove Emotional Parasites. It takes less than 20 seconds to say this prayer. Memorize it. And the prayer basically goes like this. First of all, since it's a recording system, your subconscious mind's a recording system, you have to find the fear. Let's say, for an example, you're afraid of water. You can't just say, oh, okay, I'm afraid of water, and you do this prayer. Left hand above the navel on your solar plex, right hand on your heart. This feeling is not mine. This feeling does not belong to me. I release this feeling in love now and forever. Amen. Instantaneously, if you do it correctly, the fear is removed. The abusive thoughts are removed. Anything that is unhealthy on your light body will be removed immediately. Now, how they get there, these fears, is that when you're experiencing something in a life experience, let's say, for example, you're learning how to swim. In learning how to swim, and the conscious mind records everything, the conscious mind records the life experience of you swimming. And let's say, for example, you go into the water and you panic and you think you're going to drown, and immediately you come up and you don't want to go back in the water again because you created this fear of drowning. All right, so this fear is now on your light body because you experienced it, and your conscious mind believes it's a truth because you almost died. And so you now have a fear of truth. So when you're doing this prayer, you can't say, okay, I'm afraid of water. Okay, water. No, you actually have to go through your subconscious mind, find an incident or create the fear in your mind. If you can't go back to the exact incident where you created the fear, let's say it was created in a prior incarnation, then create a fear in your mind where someone's forcing you to go into the water, and you generate this fear. So you bring the fear to the surface, and then you say the prayer. This feeling is not mine. This feeling does not belong to me. I release this feeling in love now and forever. Amen. Simple prayer, 15, 20 seconds, all right? And it's gone. Never have to be repeated again if you executed it properly. Now, in working with this prayer was given to me, I received this prayer at a spiritual conference in Sydney, Australia. I think it was January of 2012. And Thoth, the Egyptian god, co-creator god, taught this healing to us. And so I took the healing home in my meditation, and I was working with it. And the Archerians, who are seventh dimension spiritual beings, and they have mastered the emotional body, they start working with me and tell me that emotional feelings are parasites because they rob your energy and prevent you from vibrating to the highest potential of who you are. But not only that are they emotional parasites, but they are also living entities. They will interfere with the soul's thinking. So even though they're attached to your light body and they're part of your subconsciousness, if you go to remove them, they're going to interfere with your thinking and say, no, you don't have to remove us. We're not a threat to you. We don't bother you. You can still exist without removing us. It's not going to work. The healing's not going to work. They'll come up with a variety of reasons why not to remove the fear or abusive feelings or any unhealthy feelings from your light body. They believe that if you remove them, they're going to die, which is not true. They won't die. They're just energy. They'll be transitioned to another form of energy, and they'll evolve. So be mindful when you do the healing prayer to remove emotional parasites, that if you're starting to have doubts or feelings that maybe you don't want to do it, know that you're being interfered by the emotional parasite. All right, now, let's see. Let me think for another moment where we want to move on to. Hold on. We want to continue now with when a soul is created, and we're created in the image and likeness of God, male and female, He created them. So when a soul is created, all the God characteristics are embedded in the soul. They're embedded in the soul, in the light body, in their raw form. When we say raw form, let's say, for example, that the feeling of love is a God characteristics, and in your light body, it's the raw form, maybe not love, maybe it's hatred. And so what the soul has to learn to do is when they come to Earth, spiritual training school, all these God characteristics are activated. Your conscious mind is activated, your subconscious mind is activated, your attachment to universal mind is activated. All your God characteristics are activated in your light body or your solar plexus. And so what has to happen is through life experiences, you will be put into situations where the soul will learn to discipline their emotions. They'll know the emotions have control, the raw emotions. The raw emotions will have control over the soul. It's like emotion it's like blowing up a balloon and letting it go. You cannot predict where that balloon's going to land. It's just going to shh. So emotion is energy in motion. There's no pattern to it. And so the soul needs to discipline these emotions. Now, through life experiences, the soul learns to discipline these emotions one by one. On my webpage, there is someplace on my website, there's a cure, a meditation cure for emotional anxiety. What happens is when the emotion has to find the gateway from the subconscious mind to the conscious mind. And it has to find the right nerve center, the right path to take. There's millions of path centers a raw emotions can take going through the body, getting to the brain to be transitioned into a God feeling. So during the journey, frustration is called within the soul. And when the emotion is activated, the soul may get really angry, really frustrated, want to punch somebody, maybe hit somebody, maybe throw something to release the energy that the raw emotion is causing within the body. Now, that's the worst thing you can do. All right. I know there's psychologists out there that say, oh, when this happens, you need to pound the pillow. You need to go out and chop some wood. You need to go swimming. You need to release that emotion, that feeling. Well, what happens is when you do, you stop the path of that raw emotion making its way to the brain, all right, to the conscious mind. What you need to do is sit with that energy. Sit with it. It's an agony. Believe me, it's an agony to sit there and allow this raw emotion to take its time, checking out all the nerve centers to see which one it is to go to the brain. When I was in Peru, under the drinking of the ayahuasca, it was my third drinking, which would have been about 2004. I start after drinking, I'm sitting there, and after drinking, it takes maybe about the 20 minutes for the medicine to start working through the body. So I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden, I feel this agony. My body is like, I don't know if anybody has ever experienced agony before, but that's the only word. I have never experienced agony like this before, but that's the only word that comes to mind. It's pure agony. And I sat there, and I'm feeling this agony, and I was conscious enough to say, okay, I'm not afraid of anything. I'm not seeing any weird visions. There's nothing here scaring me. What is causing, this is my own internal thinking, what is causing this agony in my body? And I had to sit through 2 hours of the ceremony with this feeling of agony. And I was never so relieved in my whole life when the shaman shifted the energy from one phase to the next phase, because then the cycle, the frustration shifted. Well, later on, in another life situation, I was in another situation in life where I was in a meeting with this person, and this person just wanted to talk. It was a meditative meeting. And all I could do is close my eyes and listen to this person talk. And it was a most agonizing, it reminded me of my journey in Peru. And it was an agonizing feeling. But what I've learned from both experiences is this is what my teachers told me is the pathway of a raw emotion going from the subconscious mind to the conscious mind and being transmuted or transitioning into a God feeling. All right. So we created this meditation to do so. Now, if you don't do the meditation, it may take, you may discipline it a little bit here, a little bit there, and it may take 1, 2, 3, or 4 carnations to master it. Or you can sit in a meditative mode and spend as much time as possible enduring the agony and finishing the transition. So for an example, if you have a emotion that has control over you, like anger, what you want to do is go into the meditation with a guideline and create in your mind an angry situation to provoke to activate the raw anger emotion within your body. And just let it go and sit there and allow the energy to flow and surrender to the agony feeling that it may occur within you. All right. We'll leave it at that for right now. I want to go over and all truths are stored in the subconscious mind. Supposedly all believed truths. Truth eventually becomes wisdom, and the wisdom is stored into the light body. But not all truths are truths. So each soul has to verify what it is you believe, and make sure that you can validate your truth instead of believing a false truth. Believing a false truth is, it's going to cause, if you believe the earth is round and you're seeing things on television where the earth is, if you believe the earth is flat, and you see things on TV where it shows that all the planets are round, but you believe the earth is flat, it's going to cause contention in your thinking and in your reality, in what you believe. So you have to go back and you have to reprogram your subconscious mind. You have to remove the false teeth and replace it with the new teaching. Give you an example, a quick example, an easy example is if you're a typist and you can type. I used to be able to type very well, but I would type and type and type, and then I would hit the letter Q. And I would have to remember I need to reach up with my baby finger and hit the Q. Well, sometimes I would hit the W instead of the Q. Excuse me. And so I would have to go back and practice reprogramming my subconscious mind where that Q is. I might have to not just go here, I may have to extend the pinky a little bit to the left and reprogram my subconscious mind Because if not, you know that your conscious mind is slower than your subconscious mind. So typing, no one can type 90 words a minute by going A, B, C, D, G, O, O. No. Once you put all the keys in your subconscious mind, very easy to type by just reading and letting your fingers do the work. So you have to go back and reprogram your subconscious mind by getting rid of the false truth and replacing it with the true truths. Let me see. All right. I want to talk about entity attachments. Entity attachments are when a soul dies, it gets 3 days to go to the next realm. But during those 3 days, it's at the funeral and it sees all its loved ones crying and making a fuss. It may see its children. It may see their grandchildren. And it feels like, oh, I can't leave my loved ones. I will stay here on earth. Well, they may stay here on earth. And then if they stay here on earth, they have to find someone to attach to. They don't just float around freely. They want to experience life. They experience life by attaching to someone else. So they'll find someone to attach to. Now, on my occasions, originally I didn't think, I told my teachers, I don't believe in trapped souls attaching to someone else. I could probably hear them laughing at the time I expressed those feelings. Shortly thereafter, I take a walk. I used to walk every day about 3:30 in the morning, pitch black dark. No street lights, out in the country, very quiet. And it would be my meditation walk. I would walk 3 miles, come back, plan out my day, come back, then sit down. I would have a meditation, take a shower, get dressed, have breakfast, and leave the house. Well, this one Sunday morning, I'm taking my walk, and I feel there's someone behind me. Strangest feeling, someone is behind me. It's like, oh my God. And I says, this is impossible. So I turn around and no one's there. So I went, okay. Just a weird feeling. So I continue my walk and I come home, and that was Sunday morning. Monday evening, my boys, at the time I have 4 boys. At the time, they were little. My youngest one was about 9 years old. And getting ready for bed, and my wife comes in and she says, listen, I think we have a problem with Dustin. I says, what do you mean? She says, well, when he goes into the bathroom, he feels as if someone is standing behind him. I went, oh, okay, I know what's happening. So I took him upstairs into our green room, which was our healing room. I did my meditation classes, and if I needed to talk to the boys, that's where we went to talk. We went up into the meditation room, and I told my son that we were going to, I was going to do this prayer, and I wanted to see how it affected him. I've never done this before, so I was in testing grounds. So I've always used the prayer protection when I was just before going into meditation to protect me from unhealthy beings or feelings or thoughts or anything like that. So he sits down across from me and I start saying the prayer, and it's a short prayer. It's on the website under spiritual called Prayer Protection. And I said the prayer protection, and then I said, Dustin, how do you feel? He says, it's gone. I says, what do you mean it's gone? He says, well, as soon as you started the prayer, he says, I could feel this woozing through me, up through my body, out of my head, and it's gone. He says, the energy's gone. It's gone. Whatever it was, it's gone. I says, really? He says, yeah. I says, okay. He says, all right. And he says, can I go to bed now? I says, yeah, go to bed. So he went to bed, and it was a teaching lesson for me. So I knew that the prayer of protection was something that protected you against beings attached to you. Now, I've used it several times since then. Even in I teach English here in China on a one-to-one, and one of my students came to me, roughly 11 years old, and he says, sometimes I feel like someone is standing behind me. I went, oh, Ricky. I said, here, let me try something with you. And what happens is, when I do the prayer of protection and there's an energy attachment, an entity attached to another person, when I say the prayer, I become the gateway for the energy to go, the entity to go to the next level of soul development. So as I was saying the prayer with Ricky, I could feel the energy going through me, and then I knew that it was an attachment and that it was released to the next level of soul development. And traveling in 2012, before 2012, in 2010, I used the exercise a couple of times out of learning that I became a gateway and what the purpose was and so forth with someone else. Just because it was like they didn't know what to do, and I was waiting for them to do something, and my teachers told me that I should use the prayer of protection, and I did, and I felt the release of the energy, and we accomplished the mission of releasing the soul to the next level of soul development. So, just be aware that if you or your loved ones have a feeling that someone is standing behind them, or when they look in the mirror, they're going to see someone, know that there's an attachment, and do the prayer of protection. Also, what may happen, as this has happened to me too, is I was out shopping on a holiday in Thanksgiving in upstate New York, and I walked into a store, and there was a lot of individuals in there of low economic standards, right? And my heart opened up to compassion for them. Well, I came home, and I started doing things that I normally don't do. I started eating ice cream. I started getting on the internet. I started looking at things I shouldn't be looking at. I went up to meditate, and I couldn't get into the meditation. And I asked my teachers, I said, what's wrong with me? And they said, you have an attachment. I said, what? They go, you have an attachment. You picked it up today, and they told me where I picked it up. They showed me my mind. I said, really? And so I did the prayer of protection, and immediately my energy level shifted from what it was previously to the normally relaxed individual I am. And so I was surprised that I got fooled. I got fooled of opening up my energy to a soul. Now, sometimes what happens is I attract these trapped entities to me, because they know I'm a gateway, and they'll come through people, or they'll come and visit me. And what I do is I release them. All right, I'll recognize them, bless them, say the prayer of protection, and assist them on the next level of soul development. So now let's see, what else do I want to talk about? We mentioned that when we come here as a soul, we're embedded with all God's characteristics: conscious mind, subconscious mind, gateway to universal mind, raw emotions. They're triggered. They're activated when we're born to Earth. Prior to being born to Earth, we are guided by the heart of God. So it's like the other kingdoms, the animal kingdoms, the plant kingdoms, and the mineral kingdoms. They're guided by the heart of God. We are male and female, created in the image and likeness of God. So when we say the heart of God, we mean the loving aspect of God. There's a mental aspect and a loving aspect, the heart and mind. And so the nurturing that goes on in the nature kingdoms for the animals, to guide the animals, the birds when to fly south, the bears when to hibernate, the flowers when to bloom, the insects when to come out of the ground, the bees when to pollinate. That's all guided by, we say, Mother Nature. Mother Nature is the heart of God, all right? We're also guided by the heart of God. But when we come to earth, the heart of God, or our feeling body, is secondary. Our feeling body, or our intuition, or feeling something, or knowing something, that's secondary compared to what we're working on is the conscious mind and manifesting and taking care of our responsibilities. So we eventually, you're going to have to come back. Every soul's going to have to come back and attune to not only the heart of God, but the mind of God. Now, on my website, there's a program that was taught to me back in the 80s, I'll say that. It's called the Master Ascension Program. And for 28 days, I had to discipline my mind, my thinking, and my feelings. And it's I say for 28 days because there was nothing I had to do except be mindful in every moment. I would have to put a ring on my finger. And each day I would have to change it from one finger to another finger to another finger to another finger. And during the day, when I looked at the finger, I was supposed to stop and say, what are you thinking about? And I would look down and say, let's see, what am I thinking about? I'm thinking about that lady across the street and why is she dressed that way? And my teachers would say, why does that concern you? What difference does it make what that lady's wearing and what she's doing? I said, you're right. So they taught me that if I'm thinking or feeling something unhealthy or not loving, uplifting, positive, to get the feeling or thought out of my mind. And I would do, at the time, I didn't have the prayer to remove emotional parasite. I had to use willpower to do it. I had to say, all right, I release this feeling. I release this feeling. Father, get rid of this feeling. Father, get rid of this feeling. Loved ones, take this thought away from me. Take this feeling away from me. I would have to do that. I didn't have the prayer to remove emotional parasites. Now in China, when I go shopping and I get irritated by a simple little thing, I'll just say, this feeling's not mine. This feeling does not belong to me. I release this feeling in love now and forever. Amen. It's just little, tiny little things. Maybe, let's say that the elevator doesn't come up right away, or there's too many people on the elevator. And just for a second, I feel irritated. And I'm saying, why am I feeling this? And I get rid of the feeling. So this feeling to remove emotional parasite, you're always going to have that tool to remove any unhealthy feelings or thoughts from your light body. But on my website is this Master Ascension Program for 28 days where you go through and you discipline both your thinking and your feeling. Now, you're going to need to do this sooner or later because you're not going to be able to ascend without attuning to the mind of God and the heart of God. All the teachings, all these videos, all these teachings, it is my guidance now. It's my guidance now to do these training classes. What I tell you is the truth, based on the teachings of the Golden Ones, who are co-creator gods, and I have had many life experiences to verify what they told me. It may not have been verified immediately, like the light body with the globs on it. That didn't come till like 7 years later, but then I understood what the purpose of that prayer was and so forth. So after so many years, these teachings are now want to be on the planet. We are in the age, the golden age, where no one has to die. So if you discipline your thinking, and you live according to the universal laws and principles of harmony, balance, order, and unity for the good of others and for the oneness of creation, that we are all brothers and sisters in life, and all life comes from God, and we're one family, and we're working as brothers and sisters. So I have many teachings on the website from the Golden Ones. There's books there's MP3s, the Ascension programs, meditation programs, and so forth. Take advantage of these free programs. All right. If you want to donate, we accept donations, but they're not mandatory. It's what you can afford or what you can't afford. I'm also free for a free consultation. If someone has a life situation that they just can't get over it, I'll be glad to have a consultation with you. There's a form on the website where you can contact me at a specific time, and I will contact you and we'll set up an appointment. So based on that, our next teaching, I believe, will be on the conscious mind. They're telling me yes. Okay. So we'll see you the next time. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye. See all the teachings of the Golden Ones at the YouTube channel, Timothy Doyle, The Golden Ones, or visit us at www.thepathtowoneness.com. Also visit us on Facebook at The Path to Oneness.